everybody, it's Cassie Olberg in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. If you caught me a little bit earlier today, then you know that I had a slight faux pas on my technology. Somebody called in, my sweet baby girl, and kicked me off. So I decided to just start all over and make it nicer for everybody. So welcome. As I said, I'm Cassie. I'm in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. And we just got back from our square dancing night where both of my children danced with me. So that made my total night. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm super excited to show you guys this. It's super simple and easy to do, but yet really fun. So a lot of people were waiting for this beautiful Charming Village punch to come out. And now most people hopefully got it because it was a promo. But you know what that tells us? That tells us that Creative Memories listens. And if there's something we want bad enough and we tell them, they will find a way to get it into our hands. So that really makes me happy. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. This is a very, very simple and quick page. It has, and the reason it can be so simple and look so beautiful is that this is layers, lots and lots of layers of borders. So we're going to go over this border layering in just a second and how to make these cute lights and the measurements to get that perfect and make it simple and easy, because you know I like easy. We're going to go over all of that. And then other than that, I just used the Cheerful Matte Pack. I matted some pictures. That's Cheerful Matte Pack. And then this is just a strip of paper from the Cheerful Pack. So very, very easy to do, but we're going to go over this layered border because you can do this with so many things. So, okay, let's get started. This is a beautiful Charming Village punch. I am going to gather a piece of backing paper just to catch all my crumbs. And we are going to punch the punch in black. And if you have not used this before, just know that these two lines show you exactly where it's going to cut. And this helps you line up so that you can do the next punches. Most people start it right here, but let's say you're doing something and you're going to layer these. Then you could actually start one at the black line, and you could choose to start one at, say, the edge of the house. And you could make your border that way. So we are going to stick with this nice, simple, starting at the edge of the house, or edge of the black. And we're going to move across. And then the simple little tips that you should remember as you are punching is that you're always going to line it up, whichever direction you're moving, whether left or right. You're going to line it up on the blue. So that's going to be there. And then you're going to put this side. The reason my thumb is over there is that side is always going to go up against the top. And that is going to give me a nice, clean cut. And when you get to the end, sometimes you have a little bit of extra left. So I usually just pull it off. You can also use your microtip scissors and make it nice and smooth. But honestly, pulling it off works just fine too. Okay, so now we're going to take our border that we just made. And we are going to cut it with the tips of the tallest church here at 1.5. And you know, one of the many, many, many things I love about our trimmer is that I can line every single one of these tips up at the 1.5 and make sure that I have this nice straight border. And it just measures it all the way down. And that makes me happy. Okay, so let's look at my border on my page again. If you look, oh, hi, I see I have people joining me. Welcome, welcome. So if you look at this border, I have the church starting over here and the little house ending over here. This is actually going to go on my left page. So I want my church to be here and the house to be here. It's not something that you have to do. It's just that that's how I want my page to look. So you always want to look at what you want your end result to be whenever you're making your decisions. Okay, so that means I'm going to flip it over, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this fine gold shimmer on the back of here and cover this up. And you could just try to cut little tiny pieces, but I actually, being a math person and liking numbers, I just came over here and I measured them. So this is a 1/2 inch square, and this is a 1/4 inch square, and this is a 1/4 inch by 3/4 inches. And then I just used little 1/8 inch strips there. So this is a 1/2 inch strip I already cut. And if I run out, then I will cut another one. This is a 1/4 inch strip I've cut, and this is an 1/8 of an inch strip I've cut. And so that's going to make it go super fast. So I'm going to take this 1/2 inch strip, and now I'm going to cut it into squares. And I don't have to be real super precise on this because I'm just doing it to back my windows and make them look all lit up. And, you know, using the gold shimmer up against the black makes it look even more lit up and pretty. So you could do it with all different colors, but using the gold shimmer on the black makes it look really nice. So now we're going to come down here and we're going to use, hello, thank you for being here. It just tells me Facebook user, so you'll have to tell me who you are if you want me to know. So I don't even know what I did before we had repositionable tape or before we had silicone mats. And now we have these little pickup squares or little lifter sticks. And I'll tell you what, they just make it so nice and easy because look, I'm grabbing these squares and because they're cut just so that they'll cover the windows, but yet they won't go over the border. Then they just go right there. And now my windows are filled. Now I'm going to take my 1/4 inch strip and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to make myself 5 of these. And I don't have to be real exact, so I'm not like taking the time to make sure it's exactly 1/4 of an inch. I'm just sticking it in there and getting these cuts. And I'll do my larger ones, my taller ones in just a second. But now, and I always put the tape, I forgot to tell you this, I always put the tape right on here instead of trying to tape each of those little pieces down. That just goes faster and it's easier for me. And I'm going to tape it down on something else anyway. So not a big deal. I put that one just a little bit in the wrong spot. So I'm just going to take my multi-purpose tool and see how I just move that down a little bit. No big deal. I'm going to stick these all on here. And all I'm doing is making sure I'm completely covering the windows and not going outside of the black. So that's why these are all at a slightly different angle. Just making sure that I'm tucking them in there in the right spot. So easy peasy. And you know, I'm not a girl who likes to spend a lot of time doing something. So if I'm willing to do this, you know it's got to be easy. Okay, so now I need this 1/4 inch again, and I'm going to do it at 3/4 because I need those tall church spires. And it's not going to take it all the way up because those little tiny points at the top, that's what the 1/8 of an inch is for. But you can figure this out for any punch that you want to put things behind. You can figure out what's going to work just by measuring and knowing what the area is that needs to be covered and what the area is that needs to be that it can't poke out from behind. So I'm just going to come down and put those on there. And again, lift your stick for the day. Woohoo! And then these ones are going to take just a little bit more. I probably could have even made them a little bit smaller than 1/4 of an inch if I wanted to, because see, when I put it down, so to make my life easier, I forgot I did this on the other one. If I just take these corners and I snip them, it's going to make it even easier. So there we go. See how much faster that was? So it takes me an extra second to just snip these little corners off, but then it goes right on there and I have no problems. And that's just because the house angles up, right? The roof is going to do that. So if the roof is going to do that, I need to follow suit, but I don't need it to be exact. So it's just easy peasy, snippy snip. The technical term, right? The technical term there, right? Easy peasy, snippy snip. Okay. And then the last little piece that we need to add the lighting to are these little spires up here. So I'm just going to come down through, and I want to make sure that they're long enough to cover up the little window. but not too long. And honestly, they can come down, they can overlap with the other gold shimmer if they want, so it's not a big deal. And we're going to grab these and just make sure that they don't go up so high that they poke, you know, out from the other side. So see, that didn't take that long at all. And now we have these lit up churches. We can flip it over, make sure that none poked out. It didn't. Make sure our windows are full. They are. Life is good. So now let's move on to the next step. So we have this. Now let's make some trees. We're going to grab our border maker system. And once again, Creative Memories did listen. We came out with these cute trees. Something people were asking for, and so they delivered. First, we had trees that were a border maker system. Then we had trees that were a standalone border that were a little bit bigger. And now these are slightly different trees. So we have lots of tree options. Some of my peeps asked me, Cassie, do I need more trees? And here's my answer. Honestly, there's nothing that I have that you absolutely need. It's all once. These are just once. And so if you like to be able to layer different size trees and you like the ability to cut them in different greens and layer them together like I'm doing, then yes, by all means, and it doesn't break your budget, then by all means, yes, you need these trees. But if there's other things you really need, like tape and pages and your essentials, and you're not a layering girl anyway, then, you know, it's okay. It's okay. You can live without it. But I really do like the trees, and I do like to layer. So there you go. That's my honest answer. Once again, we are going to cut. Hello, Lori. We're going to cut to the 1 1/4. And again, we can line all the way up and down. Easy peasy. And we can cut this 1 1/4. And now we are going to layer these trees behind here. So now I'm going to put some tape on this. And I don't have to be real careful because I'm just layering a bunch of stuff, right? So it's all going to end up down together anyway. And I'm going to put it down. And when I did it going the other direction, I made sure that I started the big tree behind this little house. And so I'm doing the same thing. I wouldn't have put it down this way because I want the big tree behind the little house. It's just super fun. Gives it a cute little look. So I'm going to put it down here. And I'm just going to kind of move it until I'm happy with where all my trees are lining up. So I'm just playing around a little bit because I can just snip an end off because we're just layering, right? So just find out where you're happy with the trees. And once you're happy, you can take it and snip off the end. I have the extras over here. So I'm going to snip that off. And now I'm going to make myself some mountains. Move that up there. And I'm doing my mountains in brown. And again, it's going to cut right here in between here. I'm going to start it right at that black line. I'm going to punch, and then I'm going to move across. And I'm going to make sure it's always up against the top on the left. And I'm going to make sure that it's lining up with the blue on the right. And some people move the other direction, and that, you know, it works the same either way. Just make sure that on the side where the pattern isn't, that's the side that goes up against the top. And then the blue pattern is what you're going to move it across. And sometimes you have that little end. So again, I just pull it. Now, I want to show you something because I did not use this technique on my border because, look, mine is on white already. But see all these cute little pieces? They fit right in here. So if I wanted to, I could use some white shimmer or some white, and I could have filled these in and added one more little fun step to making my mountains, you know, especially if they were up against another color of paper. Then that would have made sense. For me, I would never take the time to do that because if I'm already against white, because it's already white. If I had done this on another color page, then by all means, I would have done it. So I'm just going to bring this over to the 1 3/4 inch, and I'm going to slice. And then I'm going to bring this border over again and add more tape. Gotta love the repositionable because you don't have to think about it. Zoom across there. And I'm going to line it up right at the bottom so that when I put it across the page, it matches up. And then the last thing I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to use all of these wonderful little embellishments. And hopefully you talk to your advisor if you're not the advisor already. And if you're one of my peeps, you'll see it at open house. But there's going to be a way to get more of these fun little embellishments. And that just brings me joy because I love these embellishments because they pair up with this. So right now I have these black trees in front. And if I didn't have the embellishments, I would probably go ahead and punch with this one more time. And I would do it in some kind of a green. And I would just trim those trees out and cover it up and make my own embellishments. So there are ways to do it without these. But if you have them, this is so fun. So I'm going to take this little snow-covered tree, just like this one, and I'm going to put it towards the center, just like I did on my other border for the other side. And now look at that. That's super cute. I puffed it out with foam squares. I'm going to do these two on the ends now too. So I'm going to do it with this Christmas tree, with these Christmas light trees, because I just think that's super cute. So I'm going to put my little tiny foam squares here. I almost said, oh no, I have lost my enamel trees. I won't be able to show you that part. But then I looked down and they were right in front of my face. So yay me. Okay. Are you having a virtual open house? Yes, Lori, I will be offering a virtual open house. I will also be offering an in-person. So lots of open house stuff is going to be happening. And you can just message me or check my page for full details. And here we go. So now we've done our whole border. And that's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We have these houses. We could add houses in here if we wanted to. I am perfectly happy with what I have. And it's going to go across my other page. And I'll just mat some pictures and do the exact same little 3/4 inch strip across the top, and I will be super happy. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a fabulous evening.